just have the sound on so that you can listen to the lesson in the video. You can also turn on closed captionings if you find that to be helpful. So these notes are for the part of your packet called Rotations on the Coordinate Plane. So just make sure you turn to this page, please. All right, let's start with the notes. A rotation rotates a figure around a fixed point called the center of rotation. For our examples, the center of rotation will be the origin, and we will rotate in increments of 90 degrees. So make sure that when you're rotating, you pay attention to the direction of the rotation. So here, if we are starting at the top and we're moving around in this direction, we're moving in the same direction as a clock. So this is clockwise. And if we're going around the opposite, right, we start up here, we're going around the opposite direction of a clock. This is called counterclockwise. So every time we rotate, it's really like we're moving one part of the quadrant in a coordinate grid. So up at the top here, when I talked about rotating around the origin, right? So here I said the origin. That is this point, right? We're rotating around the center of this graph. This point here is called the origin of any graph. So we're going to look here. We're going to find the number of degrees in each rotation shown below. So we have these two shapes, both with A in the middle. Notice this one says A prime, so we know this is the after. So we're starting here. We are moving this shape in this direction, right? So going from here to here, that would be clockwise. And how far did we go? Well, we moved it 90 degrees because it went one part of the coordinate grid. So we can say this was a rotation of 90 degrees clockwise. The other thing that we can say is we can also call this a counterclockwise rotation. So again, if we're starting here at the A, but now we're going backwards, well, we're going backwards, this would be 90 degrees, right? So let me write that. This would be 90 degrees counterclockwise. If we kept going over here, this would be 180 degrees counterclockwise. But if we continued and we land here, this is 270 degrees counterclockwise. So rotating something 90 degrees clockwise is the same thing as rotating it 270 degrees counterclockwise. So this might be a good time to pause the video and try the next couple on your own. All right, so let's look at problem 2. We're starting here. If I'm going clockwise, I'll change it to the same color I did clockwise earlier. So clockwise, I'm starting here. This is 90. This is 180. This is 270 degrees clockwise, which is the same as 90 degrees counterclockwise. All right. Over here, clockwise, we're starting at C, going to C prime. This is 90. This is 180. So we have 180 degrees clockwise, and actually 180 degrees clockwise is the same thing as 180 degrees counterclockwise. It lands us in the same direction. D to D prime, if I'm going clockwise, this is 90, 180, 270. And if I'm talking about going counterclockwise, again, starting with D, going the opposite direction of the clock would be 90 degrees counterclockwise. E to E prime, this is another one of those, right? 180 that way, 180, oops, I meant to change the color, or 180 clockwise is the same thing as 180 counterclockwise. All right, the last one, number 6, F to F prime. If we're going clockwise, that is 90 degrees. And counterclockwise, still F to F prime, but I'm going the opposite, 90, 180, 270. So when we're rotating a figure, it is nice if we use a transparency. But you can definitely try this if you want. So it's asking you to first do 90 degree, 180 degree, and then a 270 degree clockwise. So starting with this same triangle, you're going to be rotating it 90 degrees first, then you're going to be rotating it 180 degrees, then you're going to be rotating it 270. The triangle is going to change orientation, so it's not going to be facing up anymore, which is why a transparency might be pretty helpful with this, which we can practice with on Monday. So you can try any of these rotations, and we'll check back again on Monday with this work that you did.